Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. We are in Amrutanubhava, chapter 5, verse number 53 or 54, and here we are looking at the how Sat, Chit, and Anand uh, are not the words which define the Paramatman or the truth. They are there only to cancel the non-existence, the achit and the dukkha. And now we are at the Ananda, explaining the Jnaneshwar Maharaj is explaining the Ananda. So he says it is not wise to attempt to define the Paramatma in words. So I think he has completed all the three, Sat, Chit and Ananda, and now we are coming to that. आता यावरी जे बोलणे ते येणेची बोले शहाणे जय मौनाचे ही निपटणे पिऊनी पे गेले. This being the case that the self cannot be comprehended through words, it is wise to be fully silent about that and just be in that silence that is beyond relative silence. Today in meditation, this is what we saw, and that was all thoughts in our mind come only because of some reference point. And that reference point, if the reference point is a wife, then we become the husband. If the reference point is you people, then I become the speaker. If meditation is the reference point, then I become the meditator. And in this way, meditator will have many thoughts. Am I moving ahead? Am I doing it correctly? What should I do? What should I not do? Husband will have many thoughts in order to pop himself up. See? So when our mind and a thought appears in our mind only when there is a reference. If there is no reference, there will be no thoughts. When there is no reference, there is no thoughts. Where there is no thoughts, there you are. You don't need to create yourself. You don't need to realize yourself because you are already that. This premise must be always remembered. That you are that already which you are seeking. All you have to do is undo the mind. And all this prakriya, Jnaneshwar Maharaj, out of his own realization, is telling that Paramatma is, and that is why very rarely you see these words that Sat, Chit, Anand are abuses to the Paramatman. Nobody else dare say that. But a master who has this direct experience, he can say that. Otherwise, we are only lost in the adjectives. So when there is no reference point in the mind, the I does not become anything, the I cannot associate with anything, the I does not have a reference, because remember, for a thought to appear, there should be subject, object and instrument. But when there is no object, what is the purpose of instrument? No purpose. And what will I do if there is no reference to associate with? It will become silent. In that silent, who is present? That's Paramatma. That's you. The answer is not too far away. Answer is not in so many years I will realize, or after meditation I will realize, or after retirement I will realize. No, it is right here and now. Swamiji says That being the case, that the Paramatma Tattva cannot be defined by speech, wisdom. Wisdom lies in being completely silent about it. I'll tell you something about this. And just remain in that silence, which is beyond silence. Then what are we doing? Why are we speaking? Then why are we speaking? This silence is not, initially the silence is accessed by not associating with anything. But the nature of the mind is to express or not express. You see? But when mind is in the flux, is when it is involving or withdrawing, initially we exercised some, discriminated and came to be, but the phenomena of the mind will continue in its journey. And we maintain that silence, we maintain that being in spite of the phenomena. In spite of the phenomena. And that is what is told here, that wisdom lies in being completely silent about it. And what do the scriptures say? That this is Ananda Swarup, isn't it? And that Ananda, when can you fully, totally abide in the Ananda as the Ananda? Only when there is no corruption. And what is the corruption? The thought is the corruption. Objectivity is the corruption. When I say thought, even the I thought is the corruption. So when you have abided in the self, because the phenomena is going to continue, and remember what Jnaneshwar Maharaj said in few verses before, that the phenomena, which is our mind, is the vibhuti of the Ananda, or expression of the Ananda. Ananda is the potentiality. It cannot remain unexpressed. So when we have come to abide in ourselves as ourselves, without any reference point, without any association of thought, then what will happen after that? Then that mind which was silent, and because of that silent mind you were able to be. Now when that mind gets into activity again, the being continues. But now, what is this being? This being is infinite. This being is not conditioned. This being is not limited. This being is all pervasive. And all pervasive means it's pervading the mind also. It doesn't see the mind as a separate from something which it has to be afraid of. Because the material that has gone into the wave is nothing but the infinite water. The material that has gone into the ornament is nothing but that infinite gold. The material that has gone into the mind, or the material with which all the thoughts are made, is nothing but the Paramatman. This transformation in our vision comes about. And remember, all expression is express of Ananda, and Ananda cannot be controlled and kept and caged inside. So it expresses. How does it express? It expresses as satsang. It expresses as satsang. So we never get tired talking about it. Then why do we take scriptures? There are many masters who don't, they only speak. They may speak. What if speech cannot reach the truth, the Paramatman, the mind cannot comprehend Paramatman, then what can this speech and mind think and talk about? They can only talk in imaginations, isn't it? Because that is not accessible, that cannot be talked about. So what are you talking about? Only out of your imaginations. So therefore, instead of us, our mind imagining something, we hold on to the Shastras. Shastras are the best way to talk about that Paramatman. And this has been sanctioned by the masters. They said, yes, we have studied and we have come to know. And even those masters like Raman Maharishi, etc., who have realized without studying any Shastras, they also say, no, what Shastras are saying is true. So we don't use our head for imagining truth is like that or truth is like that. It's the best language which can be utilized, which can be pursued, which can be expressed as regards the Paramatma. Now, by yourself, you could never have talked about the Paramatma or the Atma Tattva in such exhaustive way like Jnaneshwar Maharaj is doing. He is able to do it because he is established. Paramatma Tattva is beyond both silence and speech. This silence is not a void, but it is a vibrant state of being established in one's own being. What is this state? It is the state if when we are abiding in our own self as ourselves, no corruption in our mind, the silence is potent. It is not inert silence, it is conscious silence. It is eloquent silence. See? And this silence is not because there are no thoughts. Initially you may have accessed that silence because of absence of thoughts. But we cannot stop the thoughts permanently. Mind is where there are thoughts and there are no thoughts. So such a person, once he abides, then he becomes the witness of the waking, dream, deep sleep. No thoughts, and in dream and waking, thoughts. He becomes the witness. He doesn't get disturbed. His silence does not sway with the coming and going, does not get affected by the coming and going of waking, dream and deep sleep. And if you take it more subjectively, it doesn't get disturbed because of coming and going of any thought, any emotion. It doesn't get affected because of hunger or thirst, comfort or discomfort, joy or sorrow. Nothing disturbs it. Mind is experiencing all that. If a realized master also steps on a thorn, he will wince, he will complain, he will scream out. Silence does not mean that you don't scream out, or you don't feel the pain, the mind doesn't feel the pain. Mind will go through whatever it has to. The master is not disturbed because of that. That is the wisdom. Futility in trying to understand the truth through means of knowledge is further explained. As long as we are not fired up by our own being, that we are eternal by nature, that we are infinite by nature, that we have never been born, that we can never die, until you are not fired up with that, that true you, till then nobody can help us. We will keep wanting to associate with something. I think this teacher can explain me better. I think this Upanishad will explain to me better. I think this meditation, if I do it in this manner, it will benefit me better and I will come to myself. We are just escaping from the fact that we are that. Because that involves you feel, because as an individual, whole life you have lived. First you are responsible for studies, then you are responsible for family, then you are responsible for your health, you are responsible for money. So we have lived a responsible life to whatever degrees. When I am given this proposition that I am all that there is, it's a huge responsibility. What do you mean? The whole universe is my responsibility. And we get scared. We get scared. Ore Baap re, everyone is in me. I am everyone's mind. I am everyone's thoughts. I am everyone's emotions. I am everyone's birth and death. Nahi, that is Bhagwan. That is Ishvara. How can I be that? We are scared of the responsibility. What if I do something wrong? You are afraid of the consequence. Being the self has got no consequence. It is the most natural thing. So get fired up. Jnaneshwar Maharaj, 21 years of age. This he must have written when he was 20-21. And after this he took Sanjeevani Samadhi. Still there in Alandi. Even after 730 years, 40 years. So what is stopping us from being? Not only he, his brothers and sister also at a young age only they realized. Then what is stopping us? We are not fired up in accepting that we are the infinite one. We are afraid to give up our relationships. We are afraid to give up the goodies that we have collected around us, the memories that we have collected around us. We are afraid to give up our default settings, our desires, our bucket lists, our pains, our griefs, our miseries. We are holding on to that because that gives us a sense of validity as a person. We have to have courage in order to go past all this. Unless our intellect is not fired up with this, initially it's, as long as you are thinking it's an idea, with the idea that I am the infinite one. Enough of this misery, enough of this grief, enough of this relationship, enough of this wealth, enough of this pain, enough of this body, enough of this birth and death, enough of this association. I want to be, at least once I want to experience as I am and be as I am. Put all your energy into that. Be mad with it, about it. Come what may. Nothing is going to happen anyway because world is existing in its own absence. Oh, what will happen to my husband if I don't cook the food? He will not die, don't worry. And if he dies, he was not there anyway in the first place. Story over. Be fearless. कि एक बार इसके पीछे पड़ जाना है and just conclude. Our thing is we go one step, come back 2 steps, again go 3 steps, again come back 2 steps. Because this surrounding which we have created for ourselves, that is comfortable. We have to become uncomfortable with all this. So on one side, Vairagya. On the other side, continuous discrimination. Discrimination that I am the constant one, I am not the changing one. And whatever is changing, dispassion towards it. उसके लिए courage चाहिए. और वो courage तभी आएगा when we are fired up with the discrimination. Why you are discriminating? Because I want to know who I really am. Enough of beating around the bush. See? Futility in trying to understand the truth through means of knowledge is further explained. Evam pramana apramana prameya kele apramana Drushtanti vaili ana disavayachi. In this way, all efforts to express the pure self through any means of knowledge or by many illustrations becomes null and void. Truth cannot be. Then why are we using Ramayana to explain the truth as Ram, or Bhagavatam to explain Narayana as the ultimate one, or Krishna Leela to and so on? Why do we do that? Because we are stupid. We don't want to accept. We don't want to accept that we are, in essence, the infinite one. So, some story has to be given to your mind, because mind only lives in stories, imaginary stories. So, to that mind, another story is given of Ram, because it wants to associate, mind wants to associate, the ego wants to associate. It's afraid to take the position of the infinite. So, okay, associate with Ram, associate with Krishna, associate with Ganesha, Shiva, association. Okay, at least do that. It will help you. It will help the mind. Because when you come closer and
Alert
closer,
from calendar. Recreation Day, Tasmania.
so when we come closer and closer to the Ram or Shiva or Krishna, etc., then we realize, array, they are Satchidananda Swarup, they are infinite, they are all that there is. See? Because mind wants to merge into them. It's same as mind becoming silent and you being there. In this way, all efforts to express the pure self through any means of knowledge or by many illustrations becomes null and void. Jnaneshwar Maharaj says, in this way I have tried my very best to express the nature of the pure self through so many examples and similes, but I feel I have not succeeded. See his humility. He says, I have used so many words to explain that which is beyond words, and I feel I have not succeeded. This must come to us also. When we keep thinking about, I want to be the self, I am the self, I am not the mind, I am not the breath, I am not the senses, I am not the world, I am not the body, and you do all this, one day you should get frustrated. Enough of it. Because our focus is on the body, our focus is on the senses, our focus is on the mind. That is why we are thinking about it. The moment you come face to face with the self, I am the self, there is no thought after that. The moment eyes try to look at themselves, there is no vision. Meaning, there is no illumination of colors and forms. All of them vanish. So Jnaneshwar Maharaj says, I feel I have not succeeded in putting across what the truth is, even though I have exhaustively explained the words Sat, Chit, Ananda, that they are not associated to the self, but they are only serving the purpose of cancelling Asat, Achit and Dukkham. That only goes to prove what I have been trying to say all along, that any authority or means of knowledge become null and void in describing the nature of the truth. Even our Upanishads, they also go to this extent. Initially they start explaining, but as the climax is reached, they say you have to give up the scriptures also, you have to go beyond. Because what we are talking about, Brahma Vidya, Atma Vidya, this Brahma Vidya, Atma Vidya cannot be caught through words. Upanishads are only words. Scriptures are only words. Words have a beginning and end. They come into existence, they go out of existence. How can something finite like a word reveal to you the infinite one. It's an impossibility. Either it clicks to you right now and you become silent, or Vaikhari Madhyama Pashyanti Para, lage raho munna bhai. Practice consciously to go from gross to subtle, subtle to causal, causal to beyond the three. See, even right now when we are listening to this lecture or I am talking, there is silence in the background, in the mind. When I stop speaking for even few seconds, there is utter silence. I'm awake, I'm conscious, but no thought comes into the mind to what now say that, now say that. No, for that 2, 3, 5 seconds, that is the potent silence. In that, who is there? I am. That any authority, any praman is authority, is any authority or means of knowledge, praman, becomes null and void in describing the nature of the truth. Any example, any simile, like if we are explaining to a child, every parent must have done that. Look at that tree. Can you see the tree? Yes. Can you see the fork in the two branches? In that branch on the top, it becoming two? Yes. See, on the left branch, there is a crow sitting? Yes. Can you see the beak of the crow? Yes. See where the beak is pointing? You can see the moon, the crescent of the moon. Ah, I can see the moon. Yes. This is this is not the way the truth is revealed. Now you go looking for a tree with a branch, with a fork, with a crow, with a beak, and there are so many crows. So every crow which is pointing a beak, you will see a crescent of a moon or what? No, that was only a prakriya. All these type of things are initially they are okay, but in the end they cannot reveal. Like a moon is revealed because moon is also an object. Self is not an object. An intelligent person will take that example, he'll understand. So words are pointers, but they cannot point out what they are pointing. The words, even of Amrutanubhava, are pointers, but they don't know what they are pointing at. They don't know. They have an idea, that's all. Because some word has to be used, so Satchidananda is used. But what is Satchidananda? Scriptures can never tell you. No description can expound that which is beyond description, that which is the womb of all words, known and unknown. All the words can conceive of can at best be only pointers or arrow marks that show the seeker the path which he should tread to reach the great destination. I did not read, but automatically the word pointer came there. Nisargadatta Maharaj's pointers to consciousness. If you can get, it's a small booklet, not small booklet, it's about that big. So if you can get it, small chapters, but each chapter is a pointer to consciousness. Very nicely written. I don't know who wrote it. I think it was Balsekar Maharaj who wrote it. Ramesh Balsekar, yeah. He wrote Pointers to Consciousness of Nisargadatta Maharaj. See? Continuing the same thought. Angachiya anupapatti ataliya upapatti yethe uthili panti lakshanachi. He says all logic along with its argument has run away from the self, and all the criteria or attributes have failed to comprehend the truth. No. So not only any examples, references, praman, means of knowledge, nothing works there. Also, no logic works. No logic or arguments or discussion. This is what we saw yesterday in Adhyatma Ramayana also. Ram is that tattva which is closer than the closest. It is you. All logic and their limbs, the logical arguments as well as the lakshana vritti, the attributes, the identification marks have run away from the truth. So whether you put a electric pole or the railway lines, or you are having a choti at the back, or you are wearing some type of cap, and you put marks on your body to show that you are belonging to this culture or this religion or that sampradaya, all that is a not. All that is not. All that begins when we think we are the body and we are belonging to someone. That means you have not come to accept that you are the infinite one. You are still associating to something at the objective level. I am a Vaishnava. So do you mean that Shiva is separate to Lord Vishnu? But we have created an identity, and we want to propagate that identity. We want people to know that I am a great devotee, I am a devotee of Lord Vishnu. Show all the marks. I am a great devotee of Lord Shiva. Why? I don't take bath. It suits me, my lifestyle. આજકલ everyone is wearing those torn pants and torn t-shirts. Daridri people. They are all Shiva Ganas. They have failed to comprehend the truth because all logical statements are in the relative realm and are totally inadequate to describe that which can be compared only with its own self. Aprameya. Truth cannot be compared with anything else. Is there anyone else in the world like you? When you say, oh, the son is like the father, what are you looking at? You are looking at the body form, you are looking at the child's habits, you are looking at the child's features, you are looking at how the child walks, behaves. It is like the father. But is there any child like that child? No. So when you take away all the body and the style of walking and the style of expression and the eyes and the ears and the hairstyle, then what is left cannot be talked about. So all comparisons, all examples, all logic, all discussion, all arguments, all means of knowledge, all scriptures, all contradictions are only in the realm of relativity. Truth is not a topic which can be realized in relativity. Then why are we studying? This is relative at this moment. Yeah, we are using the relative words as the pointers. Then who is the one who is beyond the relative? You. Oh, that means I am also, he is also, she is also, so many are also. No, they are all one. You get out of the mind, relativity is only in the mind. You get out of the mind, you will find there is only one. I can't even use the words you will find. You will be the one. Relative, what is relative compared to the body? Compared to the man, what is relative? Husband, brother, father, these are relative. Are they real? No, man is real. So what is relative compared to the eyes? All the colors and forms are relative. Eye is one, man is one. Compared to the five senses, or with reference to the five senses, mind is one. With reference to all the thoughts, the I is one. Come back to that. Then you can jump. When you come to the I, you are at the threshold. Now don't go to sleep, because association keeps us awake throughout the day. Sleep comes because we get tired of association. We get tired of memories. We get tired of these references. We get tired of responsibilities, meaning the I, the imaginary I, thought, the personality, who's thinking this world is, this body is real, these relations are real. And the same I, when it begins on the journey of the self, it is thinking about scriptures. So many people, while satsang is going on, they nicely snore away. Why? Too much load. Too much, yeah. It's only words. Who are these people who say it's only words? Who are not subjective. The person who is subjective, even while the words are being used, for him every word is a impetus to land back, to be himself, not even land back, to be himself. He doesn't have a reaction to words, he doesn't have a reaction to scriptures, he doesn't have reaction to anything. We have to come to that point. If we keep reacting, no, I don't like this, I hate that, I dislike that, how will Vairagya come? Vairagya is that everything is present, still you are not interested. Why? Your attention is on the self. But can I stop thoughts? No. So I choose to have these type of thoughts, and each thought, each sentence, each verse is reminding us to that immaculate self, untouched by the words, untouched by the thoughts, untouched by the pointers. So who is using the pointers? Mind is using the pointers. Who are you who is untouched by the pointers? Because you are eternal, because you are the eternal witness. You are watching the pointers coming and go. For last half an hour, all the pointers have come and gone. You continue to be. Thoughts are coming and going. Now, right now you are listening, you are appreciating all this. You are there also. But then we forget after the class. So, live with awareness. The two-way things. When we are living in the world, live as an observer, without gossiping, without commenting, without judging, without biasness. As our Swamiji says, Dekho, suno, bolo mat. See, listen, keep your mouth shut. That is observer. No comments. Everything is okay as it is. In Sanskrit it is called drashta bhav. When we are on the seat of meditation, we remain as the observer of our thoughts. That is called sakshi bhav. Be a witness to the thoughts. Be an observer of the thoughts. So outside is drashta, inside is sakshi. Maintain that position. Being an drashta or sakshi is living in this world without disturbing the world or getting disturbed by the world. That is drashta bhav or sakshi bhav. Only sakshi or drashta are not disturbed by the world. And because they are keeping shut, they don't disturb also. देखो कैसे connect हो जाता है. And that is the first step of Ashtanga Yoga, Yama Niyama. Don't go into default settings immediately the class is over. Yes, tummy is there, so it will be hungry. Go and cook with awareness. Walk to the kitchen with awareness. Feel the hunger with awareness. Feel the pain with awareness. Feel the joys. Experience the joys with awareness. Let the mind experience all this. We are not stopping it. But being on fire means that you want to maintain that drashta and sakshi bhav all the time and not fall into the trap of objectivity. We are not against objectivity because that is the phenomena. We didn't create it, it's there. But we don't want to get entangled in it. Just like a person who is young but is fired up with this to know the self. So many proposals will come to him. Parents will try to force that person, but he is on fire. No, I have to come to know myself. Sadhana is important. I have to be. So he is not. Can he stop the parents from proposing? No. The eyes are seeing. Sometimes someone is beautiful, someone not. But inside, he is totally undisturbed by what eyes are seeing. Inside, he is totally indifferent to what the mind is thinking. And continuous practice of this, then the mind is undone. Continuous practice of thinking about sleep, the mind empties itself. Only then sleep comes. How long it takes for you to empty the mind? You can, if you think you can empty the mind, you will never go to sleep. You see, you have to be fired up with sleep. For that, you have to live the whole day correct, with inspiration, with full on. Same way, same way. You live the whole day with awareness. Then automatically the pull to be with yourself will be there. Remain a witness there. See? All lakshanas, attributes, are only partial expressions of the infinite truth, and even after all the infinite truth, and even after all the lakshanas are put together, there is always the dashangulam, something more of the incomprehensible left. Words are finite. Infinite number of finite words is not equal to infinity. Infinite number of finite words, as potent, as contemplative they may be, is not equal to infinity. Meaning, infinite times all the scriptures is not equal to truth. And yet, without truth, scriptures are not. Truth supports the entire relativity, but it's not touched by the relativity, cannot be comprehended by the relativity. And where is the relativity? In the mind. Catch once only, we have to catch this. Only once. Attributes are only for the specific. Specific is becoming. Truth is unbecoming. As long as we remain in the mind, we will always become something. Either we have become a father, mother, daughter, sister, or we have become the body, breath, mind, intellect, or we have become a seeker. Before I was a gross seeker, now I am a subtle seeker, now I am a causal seeker. Vaikhari madhyama pashyati. No, I am a transcendental seeker. See, I am a meditator. Who are you trying to fool by meditation? Meditation means you are a meditator. Meditator can never realize. This must be taken with a pinch of salt. As long as you have become someone, realization is not possible. Becoming has to drop. And where becoming drops, there you are. You don't need to do anything after that. What do you do to go to sleep? The moment your mind becomes empty, sleep begins. Do you say that I merged into sleep? You can't even have that thought. You can't even say that I am sleeping, because in sleep that thought is not possible. Exactly the same. Exactly the same, but with consciousness, without going to sleep. Continuing to express this Ashcharyavat, inexplicable nature of the truth. Why inexplicable? Because it's beyond the words, beyond concepts, beyond logic, beyond the means, beyond specificity, beyond qualification, beyond attributes, beyond arguments, beyond discussions, beyond names and forms, beyond words. Upayamagila papa paya, upayamagila paya, घेऊनी झाले वाय, प्रतीती सांडिली सोय, प्रत्ययाची. all the spiritual practices or different experiences are of no avail in that. You get the thrill on your body, on your spine, and the mind is, it is in bliss. It is disinterested in anything. Sometimes people become blank because no thought in the mind. Sometimes people hear some things, sometimes people see the light, sometimes people see the blue light. Sometimes they get Mahatmas visiting them, sometimes they get darshan of the Divine Lord, sometimes they get powers, siddhis. Sometimes they feel they have gone along with Hanuman to Saket, to Ramchandraji and come back. Or they saw the Chaturbhuj Narayan. All this is imagination of the mind alone. Oh, but you said that when Mahatmas and gods come in your mind, it is by their choice they are blessing you. Yes, they are blessing you, no doubt. But that is only at the causal level. You have to go beyond that. You have to go beyond name and form. Don't aspire for it again and again. If they came by their own will. Something must be going right. That's why they came, to give you darshan. Now, you, miser fellow, baniya, you want, ek bar aaya, I want again, I want again, I want again. Lost the purpose, plot. Lost the plot. Just like I want to sleep every night. Array, it is a wonderful opportunity to remain awake and sleep. No, but I want to sleep, I want to sleep, I want to sleep. You are losing the plot. I want to become, I want to become, I want to become. We are losing the plot. It's only one moment away from being the drashta. But we want to become. What can be done about it then? All the spiritual sadhana and the different practices one adopts to realize the truth felt so ashamed that they ran away accepting their defeat. All sadhanas which are based on aham idam vritti, that I am the meditator and I must realize the truth, is only an objectification of the truth. See, automatically the thoughts go in that direction. This is the same. All the different practices one adopts to realize the truth felt so ashamed that they ran away accepting the defeat. Keno Upanishad. All the gods ran away ashamed because they could not come to know who the Yaksha was. Only with surrender. Subjective approach is required, not objective approach. Indra also did not come to know him. Indra did not come to know him. But because he persisted and stayed there in that without objectifying, the result was Uma came, Parvati ji came, and he asked her who was that, because she came in form. She is Prakriti. She is the Avyakt who has taken a form now. She appeared. He asked who was that. She says that was the infinite one. So after that, Indra is the lord of the mind. Then what do you do now? When you come to that point. So Indra knows that there is someone greater than me, then he continues his life. That's why he is a Deva, no? He takes refuge in that all the time. So let your mind always be contemplative on him, because mind cannot stop. It is a flux of thinking and non-thinking, thinking and non-thinking, non-thinking meditation, thinking waking and dream. But he doesn't forget. And when he thinks of waking and dream, or when he is objective in his approach, Indra, then when you are objective in your approach, automatically survival, lust, passion, greed, they automatically come. And you see Indra going in that direction many times in his life. But every time he corrects himself, again because when he is being cursed or he has done something very wrong, suddenly he realizes, Arey Bapre, I did something wrong. Then he atones, then he goes back to his source and again comes to be the Lord of the mind. And you see that he is not continuously the Lord of the mind. He keeps losing the plot and keeps coming back to be the Lord. So if you identify with the world, you will keep our mind, or like Indra, lust, passion, greed, jealousy, all this will start. Indra also goes through that. But when he comes face to face and thinks about, becomes curious about his source, so smart way will be remain aware in spite of all that is going on. Remain aware. Indra forgets to be aware. Therefore, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. He forgets. Because for him, the negative is the eternal enemy. He is always afraid of his position. I don't want to give up my position of the God of the mind, God of the heavens. Same with our ego. It doesn't want to give up the position of owning everything, aspiring for all good things, control, being a provider, being responsible, name, fame. And if it goes after this, there will be fall somewhere. So Kena Upanishad, as it showed us, when they had defeated the negative forces, they were thinking, oh, I did it. Each god was saying, I was invincible in the battlefield today. At that time, the Yaksha, in everyone's life, the Yaksha is the satsang at this moment. So there Yaksha came. He said, don't be pumped up by yourself. If you are so brave, come. They saw who it was. And what? They didn't ask anything. He said, if you can burn this, destroy this blade of grass, then I will believe that you are great. So we are again and again challenged in the satsang to think differently. And what is that thinking? That thinking is which does not lead to more thinking. Swamiji has got a book called Either Think or Worry. That thinking which leads to more thoughts is worrying. That thinking which leads to zero mind is true, correct thinking. Without going to sleep. And this is exactly what happened to Indra in the Kena Upanishad. First the demigods went, then eventually he went, but he came to know. He can only come to know because Uma told him, therefore he came to know. But directly he could never come to know. Why? The truth is beyond the comprehension of the mind. Indra is the lord of the mind. The Yaksha cannot be accessed by Indra also. So the truth that I am, in essence, the infinite nature, the Kevala, cannot be known, cannot be revealed by the thoughts, cannot be known by the mind, cannot be comprehended by the mind. Can you comprehend how far and wide the space is? Can you? No. It's immediate. You can look out and you can see the space. You have papers for the space that you own of this land. How big my house is, 17 square meter space or 70 square meter space. Because your attention is on the walls. Oh, the space goes all the way to the horizon. Go to the horizon. It will never end. So how far is space? There is no end. That's what you are. Beginningless and endless. When you think, you make yourself become limited. Undo the mind. Allow the mind to undo itself. And that is only possible when we are aware, when we are contemplating on, when we are being the Sakshi or the Drashta. Then the mind will undo itself. As long as we take the position of I in the mind, thinking will continue. One thought will lead to 10 more thoughts, 100 more thoughts, 1,000 more thoughts. Watch this process every day, it's going on. And reverse is also your observation when you go to sleep. That mind undoes itself without anything from you doing anything. It empties itself. All you are doing is taking one thought, sleep, and holding on to it. And not mechanically, I'm sleeping. That doesn't work. It will excite you more. You have to have the bhav. You have to surrender to sleep. You have to merge. Allow yourself to merge. Allow yourself meaning the mind. Mind is subject, object and instrument. You have to allow it to merge. All sadhana which are based on aham idam vritti, that I am the meditator and I must realize the truth, is only an objectification of the truth. It is maintained and sustained in duality in a sense of otherness. Now remember one thing. These are words of a realized master who is writing his unspeakable experience of realization, which cannot be captured in words, which cannot be comprehended by mind, but because his Guru Maharaj has said, pen down what you have experienced, he is trying to do justice to that. So when he writes that, then when he says that it is maintained and all the I am the meditator and I want to realize is only in the mind, then take it that way. Then why do scriptures say mumukshutvam is required? That is for a beginner seeker, yaar. Jnaneshwar Maharaj is not a beginner seeker. He is established in his own self. He is no longer a seeker. He is looking from top. if I can use that word. There is no top bottom in the self. But if he is at the top, what is the journey? Array, mind cannot come to know me, the world cannot come to know me, the Panch Koshas cannot come to know me. But they cannot be without me, but I am in spite of them, I am transcendental, I am untouched. This is the language he is speaking. But the seeker, meditator, who thinks he is the body, for him that mumukshutvam is important, so that he can come to the threshold. The different types of experiences which are imagined to be the truth also fail, because they are all born in the triad of experiencer, experienced and experience, the Triputi. They make the truth a bhoga vastu which can never be understood as an objective experience. And this is the trap in which many meditators fall into. They make meditation into a bhogya vastu. They make meditation into an experience of bliss, and they want to again and again spend more and more time in meditation, because I get bliss in meditation. What is that bliss? Empty mind, nirvikalpa samadhi. Should I not practice it? No. Then what you should be doing? You should remain engaged in contemplation. You have experienced Nirvikalpa Samadhi now, it's good. You know what is Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Now your goal must be, how do I remain in Nirvikalpa Samadhi 24/7, whether my eyes are closed or open, doesn't matter. Whether I am with my wife, with my husband, with my children, eating, waking, dreaming, sleeping, I must be in the Nirvikalpa. Meaning, optionless living. Vikalpa is options. Optionless living. When we are a meditator, there is an option to be in meditation or not to be in meditation. After meditation, I have to wake up. Oh, now I want to go. I was enjoying so much in meditation, I want to go back to meditation. It's an option, isn't it? Choice. What is optionless living? That whether mind is in meditation without thoughts or mind is in the world, it doesn't matter. I am ever what? Outside in the world I am the drashta, inside I am the witness. Don't give options to yourself. Yesterday's meditation was very nice. Today's class was very nice. Swamiji, can you repeat that one again? Nothing can be repeated in this creation. But we want to repeat meditation. See, we want to repeat meditation. Meditation must just like sleep pulls you from inside, and you cannot stop yourself from sleeping then, isn't it? Same way, meditation meditation means that poise, that conscious poise, which will bring about the emptiness of the mind. It must pull you from inside. It's not 7 o'clock I will sit in meditation, 8 or 10 o'clock I will sit in meditation, 5 o'clock I will sit in meditation, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour. What are you going to do by 1, 2 or 3 hour? Come back out frustrated. Then why did I come out? It was so peaceful inside. Because the moment you come out, the wife says, make coffee. So long you have been sitting uselessly. Be of some use. And you want to jump back into meditation. Why? To escape. It must be, when we live a life of non-disturbance. Remember Yama? Do not disturb the world by thought, word and deed. Do not get disturbed by thought, word and deed of others. then a natural pull will come from inside and you will reach asan, sthira sukham asanam. You will sit in bliss, you will be established in bliss, you will have an undisturbed poise in and through all the activities. That poise is this potent silence. That poise is this awareness. Another word for that poise is drashta in the outside world, sakshi in the inner world. That is that poise. Start connecting the dots. Otherwise you just keep going round and round and round in our mind. Start connecting everything. Words are different. Poise, sakshi, drashta. But when you look at it, how I just put it across, it's all connected. See? They make the truth a bhoga vastu which can never be understood as an objective experience. The truth, the essence, the sakshi can never come to know himself as a thought, as an object of experience. Just like this I can never come to know the I as an object of experience. It can see itself in the reflection, no doubt. But when the I wants to see the I, the vision wants to see the I, it cannot illuminate the I. When the senses want to know its source, the mind, they cannot illuminate the mind. You cannot hear the mind, you cannot see the mind, you cannot smell the mind, you cannot experience the mind at the sensory level. Same way, mind by way of thoughts, it cannot come to know its source. The Atman, it cannot. Mind is limited, Atman is unlimited. Mind is a phenomena, the self is not a phenomena, it is beyond phenomena. Mind is conditioned by space-time objectivity, self is unconditioned by these. It's beyond the three conditionings. Mind is where the sattva, rajas, tamas are playing. The Atma, there is no sattva, rajas, tamas in it. Uninfluenced by sattva, rajas, tamas. Mind is functioning because of experience and experienced and experiencing. The self, the Atman, has got nothing to do with being the experiencer or experienced or experiencing. I can go on. So, make correct assessment. Use the words as pointers, as Jnaneshwar Maharaj is taking us on this journey from beginning till here. But don't lose the plot. Even while listening to the satsang, remain the drashta, remain the undisturbed one, remain the conscious silence that you are in essence. Who's observing? The mind is taking in the thoughts, the words that are coming. Understanding is taking place in the intellect. But what that understanding is indicating, you have always been. Even before that understanding you were, and even after that understanding that sentence is over and the pointer has gone away, still you continue to be. That poise, maintain that poise. It requires extreme alertness. It requires great discrimination. imagine the poise that you are all having right now. You remain in that poise 24/7. How potent it is, how fulfilling it is, how complete it is. Not wanting anything, not running away from anything, just being, even for those 5-7 seconds. Be yourself. Repeat these 5-7 seconds 10 times, 20 times, 30 times a day. Every opportunity. Be. Slowly, slowly it will become your natural state, which was always natural. You have just discovered it. See? And the truth being absolute bliss, efforts and struggle cannot be the means to the blissful end. Efforts and struggle, pranayam, asana, pranayam, yama, niyama, asana, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, samadhi, all are with efforts, including samadhi. Why? Yes, you may say that, oh, samadhi is nirvikalpa samadhi, it is, but when it is savikalpa samadhi, you are still putting efforts to focus on the object of contemplation. Nirvikalpa samadhi, it is only a temporary experience, it is not permanent experience. So whatever is temporary, you have put efforts to get to that temporary experience of nirvikalpa samadhi. It has come about because you created the conditions. To create the conditions, you have to put some effort. What was the effort? You came and sat on the chair, you closed your eyes, you sat in meditation. I'm not going to think, I'm not going to become, I am this Atma. Your thinking is efforts. Thinking is efforts. Remaining in the poise in spite of thinking is effortless. Because there is no wanting anything then. Let life unfold. When we remain in the poise, the mind will integrate by itself. You don't have to practice yama, niyama, asana. It will automatically integrate. Then we don't need asana, pranayam, pratyahar. कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Third step itself. Sthira sukham asanam. You are sitting in conscious bliss. Not recognizing that, then you do asana, pranayam, and what do you do in nirvikalpa samadhi? Again, temporarily sit in bliss. Conscious bliss. So why did you introduce another 6 steps? Not 6, how many? 5 steps. Because stupidly we did not recognize what asana means. We thought asana was doing all exercises. Asana was be sitting in the conscious bliss. And you can see the drama going on all around you. Those who are practicing yoga. Why? They don't do the first step. They don't do the first step. They use yoga as a income source. So how can there be integrity? Oh, we are spreading yoga, but filling our pockets. Or they do it for name and fame. Again, they are identified. They are not aware. They are not coming to the self. Otherwise, every priest will be realized. Every priest will be realized. Doing from morning till evening, doing archana of the Lord. All efforts can lead to only can lead one only up to a point. The final annihilation of individuality is the final upaya, where the contemplation of the infinite happens without one's effort. The absorption in the sleep of the waker happens without the will of waker. If the waker is continuing to make efforts to merge into sleep, he will never be able to sleep. शिथिल हो जाना है. You have to let loose. You come to a particular point, which is you get into the bed, get into the position, you are breathing in a particular way, you are focused on the sleep but not thinking about and worried about the world. What is sleep? I don't know. Okay, but I want to be in the arms of my darling sleep. But when sleep comes, you are thinking of sleep one moment, next moment you are gone. The waker is gone. Waker is gone next moment. Same way. In meditation also. Same way at this very moment also. Either you are a thinker or a listener or an understander, or you are the witness. You are the Sakshi, the constant one. The final annihilation of individuality is the final upaya. Upaya means the means, the way. So it is not freedom from I. It is freedom of I. Freedom of I is the I has become a husband. He is miserable. I want to be free of the husband. Divorce. Then second marriage, again misery, again divorce. That's what I is doing. Continuously is associating with different thoughts, with different objects. The aham is continuously associating with different idams. But there no idam, no object of this world is able to fulfill that I. Continuous divorce process is going on. Continuous divorce process. It holds on to some ideas, it holds on to some memories, it holds on to some experiences which are more potent than others, and that becomes its go-to place. Just like it finds the maximum bliss in sleep, so that is its go-to place every time it becomes tired, where every time the load becomes too much. Think differently, think out of the box. These words are prompting me to think outside the box. I also have left alone, I don't think this way. But satsang pushes us to go beyond the boundaries. Where the contemplation of the infinite happens without one's efforts. This must go deep into ourselves. That realization, abidance in the self is not a karma. It is not an action. It happens. Just as dream happens, sleep happens, waking happens. One moment wife happens, next moment mother happens out of you. There's no thinking process involved. Same way. The infinite happens. Does it mean that we should not think of the infinite? If you can continuously not think of the infinite or of the world, fantastic. If you can. But majority people can't. So what is, okay, my mind is thinking, yeah, what can I do? How can I? Oh, okay, then think of infinite in the manner that the scriptures are telling. Or here in this case, as Jnaneshwar Maharaj is telling. What will happen? You'll come to a point where you cannot think anymore. So many times it has happened, even in today's class, that you come to a point and you cannot. You come to the threshold, you come to the sanctum sanctorum, but you cannot open the door. The door has to open from inside. It's a revelation. It's grace. Thinking can come you, as Swamiji is saying, thinking can bring you to a point, and that point is the threshold. You have reached Tirupati. You bought the ticket also. And it has happened to us many times. Not in Tirupati, many other places. Someone comes and takes us straight to the sanctum. We were ready to do the hard yaka by standing in the line and crawl slowly into the sanctum sanctorium. Grace, someone comes, come Swamiji. In Kolhapur, Mahalakshmi, same thing happened. We were standing in the queue. Navratri last day. Big queue. Oh, all the way into the village. Someone came. Took us in, straight to the inside. The whole group, 22, 24 of us. Initially I didn't trust. I said, we have come all the way here after 1 hour, 1.5 hours. Now you're telling us to leave the line. Then we can't get back into the line. How do I know you are, afterwards you'll say, give me so much money, give me this, give me that. He says, Swamiji, you are Swamiji. At least trust. I'm telling you the truth. That I'll take you inside. I said, okay. Still I was not trusting. I said, see that security guard, you take me to the security guard and tell him that you are going to take me and my group with me inside, and he's not going to say no. Marathi I was speaking, and he asked, he said, no problem, Swamiji, don't worry. Then I called everyone, and when I called, straight away, the next 2 hours we bypassed. Within half an hour we got darshan after that. But we are untrusting, no? Like I was before. In meditation also, we are untrusting because for us, thinking is the way. We don't trust. How can someone just come like that and help us? What will happen to my identity? So when we think properly, we can come to the threshold, then it's grace. It is because of grace that the mind gets absorbed into sleep. Not because of your doing. Your doing is up till the point where you are in your mind, the thought is only of sleep and of nothing else. Till then you can put efforts. You can put efforts till in your mind the thought is that I am the awareness. I am the conscious being. Knowing fully well that these words cannot reveal the truth. But the urge is inside. But as long as the desire is there, it will not happen. Then what has to come about? Desireless desire, experienceless experience, effortless effort. This is the language which scriptures speak. Seeing less seeing. Eyes are open, you are looking, but you are not looking. Many times children are like that, isn't it? Hearing less hearing. How many times, how many words have you actually heard in the last 1.5 hours? Hearing less hearing. So in that manner, this is possible only by the grace of the Sadguru. It is only possible by the grace of the self grace of the Paramatman. You can only come up to the threshold. Thereafter, the individuality is totally dissolved and there is no one to describe and there is nothing left to be described. One is oneself. No more personality then. There no more becoming then. All words become null and void. Then after that what will happen? As long as the body is there, Leela will begin. Then what will it be? Then it will be Usha Leela, then it will be Ravi Leela, then it will be Saroj Leela and Bodh Leela. Everywhere Leela will be going on. But we cannot say it is Bodh Leela or Usha Leela or people will say that. Because your abidance is in the infinite. You are the Usha, you are also the Ravi, you are also the Saroj, you are also the Swami. Everything is, you are one, infinite one. There is no other for you thereafter. I manifested as Swamiji to teach myself. Wow! See, as ridiculous that sounds for an unprepared mind, that's exactly what is happening. The self playing with the self. Water playing with water is wave. आज के लिए काफी है. आनंद आ गया आज. ओम पूर्णमदा पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरिः ओम. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ओम. Sit in silence for some time even after we close the session. Sit in silence with yourself.